Welcome to Smith Bricks, and we have a very special episode for you guys because we have a special guest, Joseph the Voice.
Nobody else, so we can be free.
Now we have a very special episode today because not only are we talking about Pokemon sets, the first big wave of the Pokemon sets. Now there was some that came out back in February of 2026. However, a massive wave of Smart Play sets came out. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Smart Play sets, but you know what? We're gonna give this a little bit of a try and see if we really like it. But before we start the video, I'm gonna pass it off to Joe because he has some very cool stuff to announce right here.
How are you guys doing? So, like he said, I'm Joseph the Voice. I run JTV Entertainment. I'm actually in the process of getting back to streaming and doing a lot of content myself, so this is kind of the rebuild into it all, I would say, more or less, kind of the rejuvenation of it all. I will be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays on twitch.tv/Joseph the Voice if you want to check me out. Currently, I'll be streaming from 1 to 3 p.m., but once September kicks off, you can expect that things will change. I'll most likely go back to my normal schedule around 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and then I'll stream for about 2, maybe 3 hours. It all just depends. So hopefully you guys can come check that out. We also have some other really cool content coming. I'm not going to give too much of it.
You can't say anything.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
don't want to say too much, but I definitely want you guys to come and check out JTV Entertainment on YouTube. There's a lot of cool things going on there, as from highlights to other really cool I just can't say too much about it at the moment. So
we're going to announce a lot more stuff coming up right
I
now.
hate teasers. I just want to make that very clear. I don't like them. I hate when people do it to me. I want to tell you, but I got to do the thing before I can tell you the thing.
I think we can judge our audience just a little bit here.
Do you guys like to eat food? Don't answer. Don't answer.
Now we're going to start off with the final paper bag of the year. Now technically there are 2 LEGO Pokemon paper bags that did come out this year. However, I couldn't get our hands on the other one, so it's going to have to wait for the every paper bag polybag review of 2026. That's going to come out probably later this month. We have set 30730 trainer supplies. Now you would have what every Pokemon trainer is going to need in one $5 LEGO set. So this is going to be very exciting. Now right off the bat, I'll say it now, I don't know a lot about Pokemon. No, I'm not. That's why we brought the expert here, Joseph, the Pokemon trainer. We're kind of both like not as knowledgeable. He's a little more knowledgeable than me. But this set right here was the one I wanted the most out of this year. We're gonna review it. We have is this the starter Pokeball?
That's a traditional Pokeball.
This is the traditional Pokeball. You've seen it on all the different advertisings from like everything that you've ever seen in Pokemon. I've seen Ash catch a Pikachu in this thing. It's red, it's white, it's pretty much the most iconic version of it.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of cool. I mean, you gotta have something. Obviously, you can't have Pokemon without Pokeballs, so I mean, it's cool that they have a few different variations. I know we have the Great Ball on this other set. We have the normal Pokeball here. I can't remember what Pokeball that is offhand. Excuse me ahead of time that I'm not familiar with every single Pokeball. They've came out with like so many different variations. I mean, I'd like to say it's like a friend ball or something like that, but somebody's gonna like roast me in chat.
No, this is so in the other paper bag, it's just this one, but like 3-4 times bigger than this. And it had a name. It's the only one we don't have in our possession right now. So I don't know what this is called. We're gonna get fried. So the big function when it comes to this paper bag in the first place is that you have the 2 Pokeballs, like the starter Pokeballs, and you have 2 little targets. And so the nice thing is when I set up these little Pokeball targets, I'm able to throw them at the Pokeball targets. And glad we have a lot more space here right now. We're not at the Smith Bricks studio.
All right, guys, I figured it out. It's called a Premier Ball.
A Premier Ball, yes, thank you. Okay, so the other paper bag is the Premier Ball, which is just a bigger version of this. It's redundant to have 2 paper bags that is just having a Premier Ball. All right, Joe, you want to take the other one? You want to throw this one with me? Here.
All right.
Target 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Money! We're Pokemon trainers. We do it.
Okay, so what are we left with here? Do you even...
That's a potion.
This is a potion.
That's a potion.
What do the potions do?
It gives you more health.
This is okay. So this gives you more health. I would not have known that.
And each one of these berries also have different characteristics. I'm not completely familiar with what each one does, but they'll give you different type of like boosts based on what it is. It could be like different stat boosts depending on what it does.
Oh.
And like in the normal Pokemon games, you can obviously only take so many to boost your character, and then it gets locked eventually to like being boosted anymore. So
see, that makes sense. See, because the first thing I told you when I was building this set was the fact that I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like probably like a big plum or something. They just used the Thanos head head on this piece right here, and it's just like unprinted. And then the same with this one, it's just another minifigure head, but it's just like a nice like navy blue, like typical like standard Lego blue right there. They even use some of like the minifigure like bald head caps for whatever this thing is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We don't know the names of any of these. I think these are supposed to represent bananas right here. Like they have like
Kinda
some
looks
little
like banana.
bananas. Yeah.
I mean, I know the gamers ordered a lot around different types of berries, so it's still probably
these are-
a berry of some sort.
Like
but
these are probably berries.
no, that's
right
probably
here.
also a berry. More than
That's
likely.
a berry? Oh my god.
Yeah, more than likely it's some type of berry.
It's like a
'Cause
banana
they-
berry?
Yeah, it could very well be
Okay.
like a banana berry or something, but it is more than likely a type of berry because that's kind of how Pokemon does it. So
Yeah, but we're not people that eat a lot of berries and fruits right here. So this is not like, I mean, this is out of my wheelhouse. Personally, as a brick, I don't eat a lot of this.
yeah, I don't eat a lot of plastic either.
Oh, you don't?
No. Yeah, this is a green household.
Yeah, so please comment below what type of plastics that you put into your body. So
All the microplastics you could have.
well, Joe, we're gonna do a very special segment before we get onto the main attraction. This is gonna be a double feature. But before we get to the double feature, Joe, you're gonna be the first person on the channel. Wait, that's the wrong piece. Joseph the Voice, you're gonna be the first person to be on the segment that we like to call Stud Review. Joseph the Voice, we have an amazing blue Lego stud right here. So give your honest review about this amazing Lego stud.
Oh, actually, this is a little bit more unique than the normal style. It kind of looks like a flower petal almost, like they put some ridges on it. Or you could even use it as like a gyro or a gear or something like that, if it was gray.
Multi-purpose.
But honestly, it's a really beautiful color blue, to be honest with you.
It's a fantastic,
But
fantastic.
yeah, I
blue.
mean, I could see them using this in like the flower sets that they do.
Like the botanicals?
Yeah, the botanicals
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Well-
And I think it's really unique. Personally, I think those botanical sets have really kind of set the standard of more opportunity that can be done utilizing different pieces of Lego, like odd end pieces and stuff. So
Well, like, I know, wait, what were the sets that you got? Because I know you had like the roses.
yeah,
and
the
then
rose
yours is-
one. No, it's just the rose one.
The
I
roses?
ended up getting,
Oh,
yeah.
you had the happy plants too.
Oh yeah, I did have the
You
half
had the
plants.
happy-
He is right about that.
Those are fantastic. Like, honestly, I was still trying to pick those up
This
last
guy,
year too. It was
this
like-
guy kind of reminds me a little bit of like the happy plants, like how it kind of got structured together and
Yeah, because
built.
they're like, it's like the way they're
Little
like
boxy,
boxy.
yes.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna blue ball you guys because we're here for the main attraction. We're gonna pull out the box right here. We have set number 72166, Lego Pokemon Cubone and Gengar Spooky Showdown. Ooh.
I'm just to be honest, I don't think most people are gonna like hearing this, but I only bought this set for one reason.
You did, someone.
And it wasn't the reason why you guys think. Everybody be like, oh my goodness, Gengar's so awesome, so amazing. And I'm like, nope. Cubone, baby! Cubone's where it's at. What's even cooler about this is Cubone actually has a friend. So we're going to show you his friend because Cubone wasn't the first brick figure that I built of Cubone. Actually, Mega Brick, I believe this was.
Mega Constructs.
Or Mega Constructs, sorry. This was gifted to me by a friend. Thank you, Dan. This is my little mini Cubone. If you take him and you compare him, actually, a lot of, like, I would say similarities in terms of, like, how they had the back spikes. Similarities in how like the arm structure moves and operates. Even the cheekbones are very similar in terms of how they look. The only thing that's different is like the ear antennas are a little bit different, but same type of like structure where like they can move if you need them to. Obviously, this is made of bone, so I don't think these are going to be moving too much.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. And then even like the big club, like I do like the bone that comes with that one, but I do think that it's cool. The club, like if anybody knows the backstory about Cubone, Cubone wears the mask of its mother, who is dead and perished, unfortunately. But
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So like my guess is like every time Cubone's like has a baby Cubone, it dies.
I think so.
I think, and
yeah.
that's so morbid. But it's such a cool looking Pokemon. Tell me you haven't seen Detective Pikachu and just be like, yeah, Cubone, that's my Pokemon. That's it.
Well, okay, so like honestly, it was kind of surprising because like when a lot of people heard that Pokemon was getting like a lot of like play sets, they assumed that we were gonna get kind of like minifigure styles of these like Mega Construct sets right here, and so like these were like the templates that people were expecting,
Right.
and then they were like, well, why are these giant buildable figures essentially, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, when this came in the mail, I opened it and I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, that's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I haven't built Legos in years, so to be able to sit down and kind of just do this, it was a fun little adventure. Obviously, some movable parts like Gengar's tongue moves. I'm not gonna push this, but if I push this whole thing collapses, and I don't
we're
want to
pushing
do
it.
that. Oh my goodness. And Timmy broke it! This is why we can't have nice things.
We can't have nice things.
Good thing it's Lego, right?
No, oh, I see how this works now. Okay, what you were supposed to do, we're gonna have to turn this around. You're gonna have to take the Pokeball and you gotta hit the target.
You realize the likeliness of me actually making that fall from throwing this.
Just like...
And then
Oh, I think you gotta do the other one.
And and
my
just
gosh, you
like that,
broke the
Gengar's dead. Gengar's dead all over the floor. There's Pokeballs everywhere.
We're making such a mess.
All right, so
Look at the Pokeball.
this is the Gengar, my little Gengar. As you can see, bloop 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 bloop. It's cool little interactiveness here.
Hey Joe, I got the Pokeball. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Joe. I got it. Oh, thank God. All right, so anyways, let's get on with this review. Okay, what do we got? Gengar? So, I mean, there's some very interesting pieces that is used with Gengar. Like, I know, like, we were talking about, like, oh, the tongue is... Shut up. Can you stop? Stop it. Stop. Oh boy, okay. So something that I was really surprised about with this set in particular is that there was like no sticker sheet at all used in this set. It was surprising because it was like Gengar's eyes and like even Cubone's eyes and even his like nostrils and some of the other stuff on here, like some of these other pieces, they only use prints. It was very exciting to see that because obviously in a set like this, I'm just kind of like more surprised that like most other things don't even try to utilize any of that. The fact that this is like a smart play set, right? It does say on the back that it is not smart brick compatible, which you know what, that's okay. We'll manage. However, even though it's smart brick compatible and doesn't actually contain a smart brick Lego set, it does actually contain most of the other like prints that you would be able to put the smart brick on. Now, it'd be actually kind of funny if the smart brick was actually compatible with the targets as well too, but that, you know what, I'll digress right there. The actual build of just like the stand itself is actually what takes up most of the pieces for this set. Gengar surprisingly is about like pretty much the other like 40% of the set. Cubone is actually a very small part of the set, even though he's like the first one to be named on the set, and it's probably the most popular character. I know like both these characters are very popular in Pokemon, but Cubone, he's a little cutie, right? Gengar, he's more of a rascal. He's like, rah, rah, like more like Animal from like the Muppets or something. But even having like a feature like this where it's just like, oh, you'll be able to like knock it down and like, oh, knocked our Gengar. It's like, he's a very sturdy build, and I think it had to be like that because of the nature of this build itself. Even the fact that like the bag 7 right here is also a separate component with the tree where it's able to like wobble once you like throw one of the Pokeballs. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm gonna throw view there. So like when you throw it, it actually has a lot of give when it comes to this part too. And also you'll be able to like put like Cubone on the smart brick right there and be able to go. The smart brick for these sets, you'll be able to like take off the stomach for Cubone, and then you'll be able to put the smart brick there, and then like the smart brick will have like the scanner on the bottom where you'll be able to scan these individual tiles. I think that's cute, but honestly I do just kind of prefer the builds themselves. Like I was a little weary when seeing some of the, like these like Mega Construct sets and like, oh, these are minifigures, but I've really warmed up to these builds. A lot of these Pokemon builds are some of the best that we've seen in like a Lego IP recently. Honestly, that Mewtwo goes hard. Like look at this. Okay, like we have a whole lineup of Pokemon everywhere. Hey Joe, I'm gonna need you to get out of the Pokeball. Can you like... Alright, so thank you Joe for coming back. We have a bunch of Pokemon that I can't even name right now. I mean, there's Orange Dinosaur or something.
So we got Gengar, Cubone, Charizard, you know, Fire Lizard. You got Squirtle, Jigglypuff, Jolteon, Eevee, Lapras, Bidoof, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Geodude, Mewtwo, Mew, Garchomp, Espeon, and Pikachu.
Right,
that's Garchomp. And
that's
then
Garchomp. Okay,
I don't know these three offhand. They're from like the
Yeah.
newer 25th anniversary set. I'm not super up to date with Pokemon. I'm more old school guy.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot to offer. And I know like you had mentioned at one point, as you had me in that Pokeball, might I add, that this Mewtwo set is pretty darn awesome. It's pretty sweet.
I know it's based off like the movie specifically with just the whole thing, but like for $60, that's probably the best one. Honestly, the only one I might honestly
Bang
pick
for your
up
buck, I
eventually.
would honestly say yes.
Because like I know like most of the, I don't even know which
Like,
ones actually have the smart brick in it.
I
but,
personally like this set, but I don't think this set is worth the price.
No,
personally.
like we made a deal off this one, but even then it's like Yeah, I
It's a
can't
cool
even-
set, but like they're charging you for the smart brick, but you don't get the smart brick.
You get the smart brick you get the smart brick compatibleness with it. Though, I mean, I'll even take a step back here and say that, like, I think the price is almost just the branding at this point.
100%.
Like if it was the smart brick included, this might be $120 instead of $90. If this was a $70 set, I would say this is, feel more comfortable. I would say, like, maybe Lego would have
I
priced
was
that like
guessing
10 years
around
ago.
65, 70 or so.
Yeah, no, that would honestly
And then it was
be
like
the way I would
$20,
price it.
$25 more than I expected, but it's not bad.
Like, if you could get this one on sale, honestly, I would recommend you guys getting this on sale when, like, the holidays come around. I know Amazon will probably have some deals. Like, this is worth it. And if you guys are big Cubone or Gengar fans, like, you're getting fantastic builds with them. I personally love this. And even this, like, this is not a pretty solid build, even though I think it takes up a chunk of most of it anyway.
And yeah, it's a really interesting, like, overall build. I don't dislike it. I definitely do agree, though, that, like, if I were to consider this again, I think that they're charging us for that smart brick, and I'm going to keep on saying that. I think that $25 extra like price jump, I think it's just because it's compatible. Like if this was just a normal set, it would probably be around that like that. And I guess the only reason why I'm like, okay, I guess it can't be 60 because if Mewtwo is 1 and it's like almost the same as that, so that's it. So I guess you're paying that little bit extra to get the Cubone in a way, but it's like I don't know.
Like this is like $10 right here alone, like Cubone's only.
I'd pay $20 for that, $25 for that personally.
Yeah, and like, I mean, even then, like, the licensing the characters, the smart brick at play right here, and the amount of pieces that are used, you get, like, pretty, like, 4 meaty builds, and you also get another, like, whatever the Pokeball is right there, too. And it, I would honestly say, good recommendation, just wait on this one a little bit.
Yeah, you can always just make your own noise. You can go, Gengar, rah, 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 rah.
Hey, look at me, I'm Cubone.
Cubone doesn't talk like that.
Oh, sorry. This one, the trainer supplies, and this one's like a nice companion for any of the other.
I think for $5, that's a pretty, a well, like put together set. You got a couple variants of Pokeballs. You have a few different options like berries and potion and like a little target practice thing. So
it's like it's fun.
It feels like a trainer kit.
It's a trainer kit. It's like just an addition to any set that you're gonna buy regardless. Like I feel like this already is a nice companion to this set. But
no, exactly my point. I was gonna say I feel like if I had this, that's a good compliment, especially because you have like the shooting range kind of thing here already. So it gives you that same kind of feel where you could add a few extra, and then obviously it would give you some variances of Pokeballs, which I think that's the big thing that I think.
Absolutely.
To be honest, I do think that's probably the biggest thing is that you get 2 more Pokeballs, and to me, I think that's like $250 a piece in my head, just because.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, not that I want to spend $250 on, but I'm saying like you're gonna need stuff like this if you want to try to build out your Pokemon. You're gonna want to get all the Pokeballs. You're gonna want to, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna try to find ways to rebuild this at home or find ways to build your own Pokeballs at home. It's come a long way over the years since like I was a kid. I mean, I was the kid who used to just like, I didn't really build the sets too much. I would just like throw everything into the box, and then I would just like go into the box and build whatever I want from it constantly, and just like use my imagination rather than just the pre-creations all the time. So, but it's a lot of fun to see like how far Lego has come throughout the years and all the competitors that they've had to go against to kind of get to this point. So.
It's like they've taken the monopoly on like a lot of IPs at this point, but even then I feel like most of the time while they even be pricey, they're still like decent sets when they come out. Most of it are like, they're tailoring more towards adults and collectors. When I say that like Smart Play is trying to be more for kids again, like these are play sets through and through. Like this paper bag is not a collector set. It's a collection of like pieces and accessories that you can add. Yeah, this is a pure play set, and I really love it. Now, I will admit, and this will probably be the last thing I'll say about this paper bag right here. This is not the best paper bag of the year. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even recommend getting this unless you're a Pokemon fan or, like, you have other sets to play it with. And that's the only way I'm going to say it. Because usually, most $5 paper bags are usually always worth it. And this is still worth it. Like, I mean, like, I would
it's
say
worth it as an addition, but it's not worth it as a standalone, personally.
No.
Because, like, what are you going to do if you don't have Pokemon, but you have Pokeballs and, like, a training set? Like, that just, if you're trying to actually play with it and have, like, some type of fun, it just feels like it's its own standalone. Where, like, some of those other $5 grab bags, it's like Spider-Man and, like, a little spider car or something like that, or just something really basic and simple.
It's like
where
here's
you can
a
still interact
minifigure that you can get at, like, like, it's a good starter set to get, or, like, something that you want to throw in, like, a stocking stuffer or a gift for kids or something. If we didn't review this set today right here, I would have no, like, this would just be only because I were just reviewing every paper bag regardless. This has been a very, very special episode of Spit
Absolutely.
Bricks. This might not even be our only collab. We actually have a couple other ideas that we want to do in the future. Straight up, I know we want to do OYO figures, and that's gonna be a whole separate topic.
That's gonna be interesting because obviously OYO is no longer around. They messed their licensing up really badly. They had it all together, and they threw it away.
I know.
So I'm just gonna leave it like that. OYO, you disappoint me.
We'll talk more about it because OYO disappointed, but Lego's forever.
Yeah, but Lego also disappoints because I feel like they should be as far, if not farther along than OYO was, and they're not. So sorry, not sorry.
We're grifters here, and if you don't buy Pokemon sets right now and scalp, you know what? I got distracted. Sorry.
Hey, that's my brick separator.
We forgot to mention there's a brick separator here.
My first ever.
Your first ever brick separator. It's crazy because we just reviewed every single Lego brick separator this year.
He did. He found a ridiculously expensive one that it makes no sense, but yeah.
Don't tell him. He was my brother.
We swear it wasn't us, man. It was.
I loved him. And now he's gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Find him. And find the right brick separator.